Hey, how's it going? My name is Nick Jansons. Before I get on with the video, I'd just like to kind of explain my YouTube channel real quick. Um, YouTube channel is called Nico in Detroit. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is giving you guys some updates and some of my opinions and how I feel. So if you want all that, please like and subscribe. That would be awesome. But let's get on with the video. What this video is going to be talking about really is a lot of the Detroit Lions offseason moves from this point. So what kind of just happened, the most recent was the draft, so that's what I'm going to be starting to talk about first. With the third pick that the Lions had, they picked up Jeffrey Okudah. I really like him. He's going to be a great 1-2 punch with Desmond Trufant. He's really just a all around complete corner. Probably the only thing that scares me for him being like a number one corner and what the league is kind of going towards is his 4.5 40, which if he's gonna be the guy guarding Henry Ruggs, Tyreek Hill, I just don't know if he's gonna get burnt or if he's gonna be physical enough to throw these guys off their routes. But honestly, that's probably one of my most scares about Jeffrey Okudah. But man, that everything else, that guy is really complete. He just his technique, his hips, and how he moves is great. I really like the pick. He's super physical as a cornerback. He's always ready to go in and tackle the running back if he gets to the outside. So really, you couldn't go wrong here. It's kind of like the pick that the Lions were projected to pick anyways. So could have gotten a trade back, but Bob Quinn isn't that great of a GM to do that. So, but that was a good pickup. I like that. With 35th pick, they picked up DeAndre Swift out of Georgia. That pick, I promise you, I was watching the draft and I was sitting there like, okay, they're either gonna go AJ Epinesa. I don't know. I was just thinking a lot of even Ross Blacklock. I didn't want Ross Blacklock, but I thought they were gonna like shoot for someone defensive side because that's very important on what we need for the team right now. So, but then they really surprised me and picked up DeAndre Swift. I really didn't think Bob Quinn had the balls to even pick up a running back that high when we have other needs to even fill. So, how I feel about that pick, at first I was like shocked. I was like like I didn't know if we're gonna be able to get all the other positions that we need at a good grade level, So like what I'm trying to say is, we went in the third round, we picked up Julian Okwara, and that was a fantastic pick. I loved it. I can't believe he even fell that far. It's great. That was an amazing pick by Bob Quinn. That just made the pick 35 way more better. So going back to DeAndre Swift, I think he's just a complete running back. Like, he's just really a guy that you want on your team. Like, I'll get started with the boring stuff first. His run blocking, he's very disciplined in. He was giving his QB out in Georgia so much time. Just with his 5'6" or 5'9" body, just throwing them into linebackers and holding them. It was just nice to watch on some film that I was watching on him. And also his route running outside of the backfield is really nice. Like, he almost beats the linebacker every single time, but there's just other options farther up the field that he doesn't get the ball every time, but like he almost could, and that's really good. Shows his elusiveness too, always getting open. And one thing that obviously he's good at vision, but I think his first vision could be a little bit better. It's not the best in the world, but it's pretty good, But he also did run in front of like a huge wall too. Andrew Thomas out there, and they had another really good tackle too. But But I think what his best thing is his second vision. So once he breaks through those holes, if you put that guy in space, that is a dangerous, dangerous man. Like, he is going to be breaking tackles. He's going to be shifting you off him. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was a great pick by Bob Quinn. I like it. That's very complimentary next to Kerryon Johnson, too. So I hope Swift is the number one guy. And when Kerryon comes in, he's still a great running back, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're not missing we're just going to have a great 1-2 punch now coming in. So, now I want to go to Julian Okwara. Hey, this is awesome. First of all, I'll just get it out right now. Brothers on the team, you know, that's awesome to have. I'm actually a huge fan of that because, first of all, the guy's production, Julian Okwara's, his production was pretty good out in Notre Dame. He fell short, I think, last season, only played like 9 games or something like that. But in some of those games, he was showing some like huge strength. He sometimes he would have I would watch on film, he would have problems coming off the line, but when he was coming off the line, man, was a play going to be made by him. If like when I say coming off the line, like jumping quick off the line, you know what I'm saying? So when he was doing that, he was making plays. And I was just watching. He would be going up against people like Mekhi Becton, first round Jets. I think Austin Jackson or something like that on the Dolphins. And he was going up against those guys, and he was bullying them. Like, that's one thing that kind of confuses me about a lot of people is they say that he needs to get his strength up, but like when I watch him, he bulldozes people, like, and you don't get that in a lot of edge rushers that can just bulldoze a tackle. You know what I'm saying? So, and if they are, they're special. So, and even the guy, like he was earlier before he got his injury, he was given like a first round grade, like as an athlete. So like, obviously a steal in the 3rd round if we're able to get that. So, now with the next pick, Jonah Jackson. I love Jonah Jackson. I thought that was an awesome pick. I can't believe we even got a guy that late into this draft. That honestly just kind of shows you how stacked this draft was. It was crazy. But Jonah Jackson played at Rutgers, I think, for like 2-3 years, I think, something like that. Maybe even like 4. And then I just know he played a 5th year at Ohio State. And he was even doing good at Rutgers, but then, like, when he transferred to Ohio State, I was kind of like all right, now I'm going to get used to, like, the better competition, or not necessarily better competition, but I'm playing with, like, better guys around me, you know what I'm saying? So, like, let's see, like, how I do now. And he played perfect. He was great. J.K. Dobbins, if you even look at his production, that was made by help of a line, you know what I'm saying? There's times he was making great holes for J.K. Dobbins. That was beautiful to see when I was watching on film. His pass protection is pretty good. Like, I don't think he hasn't let up a sack at all. Like, and that's beautiful to hear, you know. So I think that he can even be a guy to come right in and start at right guard right away. So that pick was great. I loved it. Think he could be a day 1 starter. Now we go on to Logan Stenberg with the 121 pick, 4th round. I don't know if like how everybody else feels about guard, but I was really, really hoping they were gonna go guard into the draft because we have. All right, I'll say this. Joe Dahl, if we have to run with him in the season, I think we'll be fine. He's not the worst guard that we could have. He basically holds his own for, I feel like, the line that we're going to be having, which is going to be a pretty good line. So if he's like the only hole, I'm not that worried about it. And if Stenberg comes in and takes his job, which I don't really think he will year 1, but if he does, like, that would be crazy. So, and then we would have a really nice line. But anyways, back to Logan Stenberg. out of Kentucky. He also didn't give up any what was it sacks. Yeah, he didn't give up any sacks, but one bad thing was I think he gave up like 14 penalties. So like, and I was kind of I heard he does have really strong hands, is what people were saying, but like his hands I see kind of like slip into like it can you can easily see him like holding onto a player, and then I feel like a lot of holding calls are gonna be made. So, but if Patricia can fix that up on him, then I mean he was a bully. Like I guess he wanted to get in people's faces and just pancake them and stuff. I haven't really looked on his tape the most. I watched a little bit, but yeah, I guess he's a bully. So pretty good for the run game, and that could be also really good too for Darren Bevel. He could be I don't know, like pretty creative. Bring him in, and the teams would be like, okay, oh, they're thinking run play, but then like you could like trick them up and then pull a play action out. So it's pretty nice. I like the pick. So with the next pick, the Lions had Quintez Cephus. Quintez Cephus. I will say right away the thing that everybody's thinking. 4.7, 40 on the combine day. And then I'm just going to say right now, he had his own pro day, ran like a 4.5. So he shows that he's not an actual 4.7 speed guy. So that I don't really know what happened. Must have been like a fluke or something like that. But anyways, back to him. One thing that I was hearing from other people that so when you play for Wisconsin, including that they had Jonathan Taylor, they were running him a lot. And if he's going to be running him a lot, your receivers are going to be blocking a lot. So, and Jonathan Taylor had great years. He had great blocks everywhere. So Quintez Cephus is already a nice blocking wide receiver, and that is great to have. Like, I think that's pretty underrated because that pulls out a lot more outside runs that can actually happen. You know what I'm saying? So, definitely a helper. But other than that, when I watched his tape, his route running's pretty nice, but his hands are so strong, man. Like he when a football is thrown to him, like he's using his strong hands to go after it and get it, and he's usually winning them. And a guy that kind of like reminds me of him is Anquan Bolden, which actually kind of funny because he played for the Lions, but like they just both resemble each other to me, and it's crazy. So I think he can even fight for the slot position if he's going to be that guy who's having strong hands. Like, you definitely want a guy who's catching a lot of their balls. So, but maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. For sure, I'd think like a wide receiver 4 for the team. Maybe wide receiver 5 because I don't know. The Lions kind of have some okay wide receivers in the team, but like some names like Marvin Hall. I don't know if he's going to be getting a lot of playing time, or like Geronimo, whatever, that came from the Packers, who I'm not even a big fan of. So I think he's going to be looking at some reps this season. So next pick, Jason Huntley. Man, I was kind of confused on this pick because, like, if you name out our running back crew, we have DeAndre Swift, Kerryon Johnson, Bo Scarborough, Ty Johnson, and now Jason Huntley. Like, was a 5th running back really needed at this point when we can take a chance on even like I would even say another receiver, just because that was so stacked, or defensive line? We could even win another. I don't know. We just needed something other than I think that. But with that being said, though, this guy is really fast. He is super elusive. He does for kickoff returns, I guess he's super good at. Had like 5. So But in my opinion, I don't think really a special teams is like extremely important. You know what I'm saying? Plus, we already have like Jamal Agnew. You know what I'm saying? A guy who was one of the best punt returners in the last couple of years. So, not the best pick to me. I will say that. John Pennicini out of Utah. Um, I like this pick. I like him a lot because even though he's probably only going to be like a one down, possibly two down guy, run stopping defensive tackle, like we kind of lost some of those with Elshawn Robinson and what's his name, Harrison Snacks. So he kind of fills up a pretty nice hole if he's able to be pretty productive this season. And he can help like Danny Shelton get a break, and I don't know if Nick Williams is gonna be like a lot in like the run stopping plays, but we'll see. And then we have Jason Cornell from Ohio State. He's definitely more of like the pass rusher type defensive tackle. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty nice. And you can't, like, he showed some pretty good plays, but it's kind of hard showing all your production when you have a great defensive line, and then obviously you had Chase Young on your line too, so that's taken away a lot of that player's possible production. So maybe he can bounce up and be some really good, who knows, but all around I love this draft. I think it's perfect for what we're trying to do for the future. And now kind of going to free agency, now that we got these young guys, and then the free agency, we picked up Danny Shelton, Jamie Collins, and Harmon from the Patriots, that safety. And I really like how we added those guys because they can really help more people like learn the Patricia way, you know what I'm saying? Since Patricia was kind of like a Patriot and all that stuff, it just helps like all the younger guys get used to the system, and then everybody can learn it faster. And instead of taking like half the year to learn it, second half to actually like know it and start playing it, they're going right from the jump and they're just playing. You know what I'm saying? They're going all at it because they're all comfortable with it. They're all got that done in practice and their training camps and all that stuff. So I really like how we added those Patriots, and everybody like hates on it just because it's a Patriot, but like you're not really looking at the bigger picture if you're just saying that. So maybe if you don't like the player, that's a whole different story, but I really like these players that are coming in right now. Trufant, we also brought in a corner from Atlanta. I think he would. I don't even know, but I like him. I think he's gonna be playing pretty well in Detroit. The Vaitai, Big V, let's go. I like Big V. I think he is gonna be a pretty good right tackle for this team. His best thing was run blocking. So. And what has Detroit been trying to do for the last 10 years with Matthew Stafford is trying to get a run game. So if he's going to be out there getting some good reps in, so I'm pretty excited for that. And he's also one thing I'd like to mention too is his pass blocking is not the highest grade or anything like that. So, but the thing is, maybe he can learn to be better at that with like the Detroit Lions. Maybe we can teach him little new things. But besides that, if he's still not the best, he's the right tackle anyway. So, and Matthew Stafford throws with his right. So if there's hard pressure coming to the right, he's able to move some way in the pocket and still keep the play alive. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like left tackle where it's his blind side and he's about to get smacked once the guy gets past him, you know. So another guy that we picked up in free agency was Nick Williams from the Chicago Bears. I like Nick Williams. He brings a lot of pressure to the QB. and that's one thing that we really needed as in the Detroit Lions, especially in the front seven. So yeah, that's definitely I really like that pickup. Another guy that we brought into was Jermaine Kearse. He didn't really play a lot. I feel like he's going to be playing behind Harmon and Walker anyways. But when he did play, though, he played very well. So that's a nice depth guy to have that's going to be coming in and just playing well. So I like that. And now what I would kind of like to go into is so Lions, I feel like, have a pretty good roster. Like, even if they pull through it this year with what they have right now, I feel like they'll still do pretty good. But they still have like 29 to 30 million dollars of cap space still to spend. So and still some notable like holes on the team could be guard still, like I was talking about, left guard. Edge, I think, is still a problem, or possibly a problem, and I'll explain that in a second. And that's really the biggest holes that I see on the team right now. I'll go a guard that I seen on that just kind of got into free agency was that Larry Wolford that used to play for the Lions, actually. So if Lions could grab him, that would be a nice solidified line. That would protect Matthew Stafford like no other. He would never have a line like that before. So if that would be a nice free agent that I could see the Lions going to get. So possibly we might need like an edge guy, but the thing is, I could see if Lions don't want to get an edge guy because there are still unproven players like Deshaun Hand, who kind of just unfortunately was getting hurt. Austin Bryant, who also unfortunately got hurt last year, and he was a rookie, so we haven't seen nothing on him yet. And then we have the other Aquara that's brothers with the one that we drafted. And let me remind you, when our defensive line was pretty good, he had about like 7.5 sacks. So like he was putting up good numbers. So, and I guarantee you, if you were to play with your brother on a football field, that would just make you and him better. Just the chemistry between each other, and even I haven't even talked about yet that the Aquara brothers are the older one is gonna make the younger one get way more used to the Lions scheme than he would if his brother wasn't on there. You know what I'm saying? Like, now he's able to ask his brother questions instead of maybe he's like a little nervous and doesn't want to ask a certain question, but he can just constantly keep on asking his brother's shit. You know what I'm saying? And get right for the team. And I feel like he's gonna be one of those guys that are going to be ready to go year one. So that's going to be fun to watch. But anyways, I'm not talking about Julian. I'm talking about the other one. I think if them two playing with each other, that would just make both the Aquaras better. So maybe they don't need an edge rusher. But if they didn't feel solidified with those three guys, some names: Jadeveon Clowney, which obviously wants to get paid, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't really shoot after him unless if he maybe wanted like a 1-year deal or something. But someone that I would like is Everson Griffin from the Vikings. I feel like he would be great alongside Trey Flowers, and I feel like he's asking for half of what Jadeveon Clowney is asking for, and Everson Griffin would put a lot of pressure to the QB, and that's exactly what we need. So yeah, that would be awesome. I've heard they're trying to get some guy from the Giants, I think like Golden or something like that. I'm not sure, but he had like 10 sacks. So as long as we're grabbing someone that can pressure the QB, I'll be fine, because obviously that was a huge problem last year. So what do I feel like the Lions now? like with the division, I feel they have a better roster than the Bears. I know probably a lot of people aren't going to be agreeing with me on this one, but I don't think the Packers are going to be the Packers that much longer. I think they're going downhill, especially you seen from the draft. They definitely didn't help their team to win now. You know what I'm saying? So I think the Lions honestly got a better roster than them. They went up against Green Bay twice, and the first time they got gypped by the refs, and the second time the Packers were facing David Blau, and it came down to a last-second field goal, which I'm actually happy happened because then we solidified the third spot. But it's like, come on, man. If you're competing with David Blau, like that's not a great team anymore. So I think they're better than the Packers. Vikings, now that's gonna be the team to beat, because they have a strong roster, and their draft class was strong also. I really like their draft class. So yeah, I think they're definitely going to be battling for number one. And it's kind of funny because there's a lot of, like, who's better, Kirk Cousins or Matthew Stafford talk, so. But to answer that question, definitely Matthew Stafford. I don't think Kirk Cousins compares with him, so. But, yeah, that's just going to be a battle for number one. And I think, honestly, Lions can make the playoffs this year. I seen their schedule. Teams I think they would get beaten by are like Saints. I think we'll take Vikings at least once this year, but I think they might be able to beat us once. Tampa Bay. I just really like their schedule this year. There's not a lot of guys that I don't see them beating. So, all right, to wrap this up, I hope everybody had a good time listening to what I had to say about the Lions off-season moves. So, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, Nico in Detroit. I'll see everyone later.